everybody. It's the next day. Agita's there. The two babies are here. It's been up and down. I hit up because there was sort of a down in the morning. I had a good night's sleep. My tongue is cut, and now I know what it's from. It's quite deeply cut, and I know it's from an item of paraphernalia, that was broken, and that I was using in another state. I ended up, cutting my mouth, quite. I'm hoping it's going to heal by itself, but it's a little difficult to talk now. A little difficult to. So I'm coming back. I talked to my contractor today, and the house isn't moving, and he's a bit worried about me. But and I'm a bit worried about me now because it'd be quite an effort. And then at that point, I just said, I've got to do something, and I realized that my cutting my ties with my analyst were based on something that I was going through at the time and that I was projecting and all that kind of stuff. So without going into a lot of detail, I'll just say I called and left a couple of messages for my analyst, and I wasn't sure he'd call me back because I kind of publicly, cut ties. But he did, so that to me at this point, it means something, it's like and he's willing to work with me again to reestablish the ego boundaries. I explained a bit of what I was going through, and he kind of knows about this process, but he didn't know exactly, the terms that I use now, and he agrees it's kind of a dangerous kind of playing with fire, So we talked a bit about that, and establishing ego boundaries. To him, the most important thing is that I'm coming back for my kids. I have something to come back for. Many people don't. So I'm coming back for my kids, to a certain degree also my friends. I don't have much contact with them, but the contact I have is important. The fact that they're there for me, means a lot to me. So, and then the podcasts, if I can make some sense of some of this shit, maybe help others dealing with similar issues, or, fine. If not, I'm going to do the podcast anyway, just for myself and the few people who watch them. So the podcast and the writing, very important because that's my connection. And at some point, I really have to try to publish. So anyway, small steps back. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like eating all that much, but I need to go out, I think. I need to regain some of the little things that I used to do before that that connected me to the ordinary world, my pushes, as I call them. So I'm thinking I haven't eaten yet today, and I need to get back into those. I've lost all of that, my routines and my taking my diabetes meds and all of that stuff. I've got to get my routines back. So that's step one. So little bits of writing in journal entries where I can, a little bit of taping here. At least I'm going to be seeing on Zoom, my analyst next week. So that's something, a bit of a structure. And I think I want to go out to eat. I'm thinking of Thai, the place I used to go to for lunch, just because it's familiar, it's a bit of a routine. Food is good, it's not too spicy, which is going to be good for my tongue. And it's just that whole needing, do something, go out, not just sit here and go inwards. So it's going to take an effort, but I'm going to try to do it. Anyway, we'll keep you posted. Bye for now. I think that the connecting with the analyst and the analyst willing to work with me again, I think that's a very positive step. I really do, because, I wasn't doing too well on my own. Anyway, bye for now. To the Thai place that I used to come for lunch, and, it's not all that busy, but certain tables have been reserved. And the only one was right in the corner, and I didn't really want to sit in the corner, and I'm like, okay, I'll come another time. So I'll just take this as a sign that I had to go somewhere else tonight. That was just not. I was kind of looking forward to this place, but I'm not going to be made to sit in a tiny little corner. So I'll go elsewhere. We'll find. I'm thinking of Chinatown. I'd thought of it a couple of times before, never went. So let's try Chinatown. Anyway, bye for now. Okay, I ended up coming to Chinatown. Got a bit of traffic, and I stopped at the drug mart and got some Cola for later. So I got some mouthwash, trying to, antiseptic. I don't know if it's a good thing or not for the cut tongue, but I do need to eat. And I was actually intending to come to Chinatown last week when things shifted in a completely different direction. So then I realized, this is where I was going to go last Saturday. and then I went off somewhere else. So I might as well come here. So I'm going to go have some soup and some my favorite Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. Anyway, bye for now. I'm driving along just before I pulled over. The Little Nas X song came on. I think "Star Walking," and there's a line particularly. It's like, not over while I'm breathing. I'm paraphrasing, and I'm not going to sing. If I try to sing lines, people start screaming. I've been told. A friend of mine told me to never, ever, ever attempt to sing in public again. Anyway, bye for now. Because of my mouth, I was going to put less of this pepper, and usually I put it directly into the big bowl, but they brought me a separate small bowl this time, so this is much less pepper than I would normally put. Probably still a lot, but and I'm putting salt, pepper, and I'm putting that, and soy sauce, and that's the fish and rice. So I'm going to eat one out of a can of that and then have it back. It's just nice to be out. It's nice to be eating food I like, and I gargled with a bit of mouthwash before I came. Try to, not much I can do about the tongue thing. It is cut, and still, but I'm still really enjoying the food. I'm enjoying being out in the ordinary world. Back to routines, places that I like, and I've been to this place many times before, and I like the food. I really like the shrimp dumplings, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix those with the rice, and the rest I'll have packed up. Anyway, bye for now. And there's Agita, and the babies are, one baby's there, and one baby's there. I just fed everybody, and I ate myself in Chinatown, as I showed. I'm back. On the way back again. I'm obviously in some kind of a zone, because every song that I heard seemed to have a particular significance or meaning or whatever. It was a sort of a connected, but with an edge, and it's kind of hard. I'm still going to be difficult coming back. I mean, I can't face cleaning any of this, just barely. I fed the kids, had my own shower. I got my takeout food for tomorrow. My tongue is still really fucked, and all the shit that happened, it was just, but it's okay. I mean, the thing is, I'm going to move forward. I think my fortune cookie was you're going to do something daring, but I don't think just coming back at this stage, I think it's pretty daring. It's going to take some effort, but at least I'm in contact with my analyst again, which is a good sign. And going to see what he has to say on Tuesday. In the meanwhile, I'm going to try to write. So I'm just doing this very quick footage, and now I'm going to try at least slowly to get back into the entries, at least describe going out for dinner and some of my thoughts, and get myself back into that flow as well, which is very important for me. And then try to sleep. And, I'm going to have to do something about the tongue. So we had eye problems, and then after the eye problems go, and I get myself into this other shit, got some major tongue problems here, and I don't want to get, infected or something. So I might have to make an appointment with a doctor or walk-in clinic or something like that. Maybe do it online again. I don't know, but I think for this I have to go show it. Some kind of it's not infected yet. It's just a cut, and then it's kind of blistered at the end of it. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, so far so good. Still alive. I'm home with the kids. Looking after the kids, just appreciating the kids, and that's the important thing. And then, then reconnected with the analyst, and, and I heard from my friends, I think, up to yesterday, but, I will probably, hear from them again over the next couple of days. And as I said, the thing with my friendships, with my friends it's occasional contact, but that's fine with me. It's like, when they reply to me, then I will reply to them. So anyway, all is well. So we got a baby there. And then we got a baby there, and we got Agita there, and I'm going to try to do some writing, and I'm going to try, it was really a very large amount of stuff that I was on. So the fact that I'm off it now, and I'm, there's going to be some residual stuff. It's going to be a little bit of a battle here, but I'm going to do this anyway. Bye for now from the four of us. Good morning, everybody. There's Agita there. And one of the babies is here. He's learned from his sister that, a nice spot to sit is daddy's spot. And the other baby's here eating dry food. Now, it's sort of an okay night. I mean, in that Still some anxiety, but I went to bed and both the babies came and came and settled on the bed by me. And Agita was nearby here, I think. And that was kind of relaxing, was soothing, and I kind of helped ground me a little bit more. And I had some odd dreams and got up in the morning. My tongue is still very painful because it's all cut and it's like sore. At least I know where it came from, but I'm going to have to do something. Maybe go to a walking clinic or something tomorrow. We'll see. But it's not bleeding or anything. I don't think it's infected. It's just a cut and a sore. Now, I'm lying in bed and I get a call from concierge for this condo number saying you have a grocery delivery. And I go, are you sure? I don't really do groceries. And the concierge goes, yeah, sure, it's this number, And I said, do I have to come down for it? I've never ordered groceries. And she said, no, they'll bring it up. So I'm waiting. I'm looking. I didn't order any groceries. And I'm like wondering, accidental, delivery? And I'm going, if so, that's somewhat synchronicitous because I kind of need groceries. It never even occurred to me to order them, So I'm sitting there going, okay, let's see. Maybe it's accidental. Maybe this is a sign of some kind. And nobody shows up. So I call downstairs and they go, oh, no, nobody, nobody's come yet. And the delivery person has gone in. Did we buzz them in? And then he goes, and then I start getting worried because I'm like going, somebody else using this as a ruse? Because, been under somewhat, the circumstances I was in, there were all kinds of issues and, maybe people that, you never know. A little bit of paranoia too, but I'm starting, what's this grocery delivery, which I never ordered, and then it doesn't show up at my door? What's going on here? So I call them again, the front desk, and I go, what's happening with the groceries? And he goes, they haven't come? And I go, no. And he sent a patrol person. And the patrol person, checked the truck. It's a legitimate truck, but it's just not for you because, it didn't probably, because, it must have been some other apartment number and they misheard it. Kind of thing happens, but, it just happened at a very synchronicitous moment when I was thinking about groceries. So, I don't know. Things are weird, but things are always weird. But no, there's no groceries. No, it didn't come. So, but it's given me a very good idea. I should look into getting groceries. I have no idea how to do it, but I might have to look into that. Or I just go out again and brave the store and try to figure out what to get. But I don't know. To me, that's very odd. It's just a grocery delivery when I need those deliveries, but there's really no groceries. It was a mistake, but it may be giving me an idea. It also got me a little paranoid about other things. Other people possibly trying to get at me because there were some very bizarre things that were happening to me over that stretch. So anyway, but I'm okay. I'm as that line said, as long as I'm breathing, don't count me out. So I'm still breathing. So now it's another day. One thing at a time. So first we had a false delivery. Now just with the kids. Reading, writing, maybe breakfast, maybe go do some real grocery shopping. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure this out. Still breathing. That's the important thing, most important thing of all. And still have the kids. Still have, still be able to look after the kids. And the kids are here. The kids are helping me, and they sleep in the bed with me. And that's enough of a reason to come back and put every effort into this. Anyway, bye for now. Talk to you later. We got Agita there. We got one of the babies here. And we got one of the babies here because they did very, very superficial vacuuming just because, there's shit almost literally all over the place. Dried up food and stuff like that. But at least you don't see anything in the floor anymore. Well, not too much, but, it didn't get around to the side. At this point, I'm just, and I sort of vacuumed up by the litter. The litter was all over the hall. Now, some more developments. I got another kind of fake delivery call. It was one of those suspected spam, and I answered it, and it was something like, "Oh, this is from FedEx. 2 times you haven't answered, you haven't accepted." And then it was in English and in Chinese, and so it's definitely spam. There's no FedEx. And if there was any deliveries for me, and there was one from a friend out of province, the concierge calls me. Now, the concierge did call me earlier about a grocery delivery, but that was a mistake. That was so a message. I should be delivering groceries, or I should be eating. I don't know. Everything can be a message. Nothing's a message. It's a message, So, and in this particular state, you're particularly prone to see everything as some kind of significance. Even mistaken grocery deliveries, which and so symbolically delivery. Now, in the underworld, deliveries are of something very specific, and there were a lot of deliveries, but not here, and not of that. And as I've said, the that particular, the entering that world, I don't do. Hello, everybody. It's a couple of hours later. Agita is there, nicely settled on the bed, and the babies are here. One is there, and one is there. I semi-vacuumed here just because it was dried up food, and I threw out the garbage because it was smelling and overflowing and rotting. So that's as much as. But the vacuuming. One of the babies went into the playpen. The other baby is here now. More developments. Another kind of fake delivery thing. I get a call, so I go back to bed after all that earlier about, the possible grocery delivery, but I didn't order it, so obviously it wasn't for me, but just the idea that, maybe I should be ordering groceries, or maybe I should be eating. It's like, so it was kind of interesting, So, and then the fact that I was wondering if groceries just came by themselves for me, accidentally, wrong address, but, but they didn't. The actual groceries didn't show up. It was a mistaken apartment number or something. But the fact that I have no groceries and that happened, I'm just like going, oh, that's a coincidence. And then I go back to bed with the babies on the bed with me, and Agita, on the hall. And then I get another call. It says suspected spam. It's one of those, FedEx. And this is the second time you've had a FedEx delivery and you haven't. And then it was repeated in Chinese. And it's spam. And I only had one delivery from my out-of-town friend, and that came to the concierge, and the concierge called me, and I went down and got it. That was different. And I'm not. Hello, everybody. Here I'm at the usual breakfast place that I've been going to lately on Sundays because I love the hot sauce here. My tongue is still a bit cut up, slightly better, but I can't resist the hot sauce. So I'm just trying to eat from the right side of my mouth, which is not great for my tongue. But this is just trying to get back into some routines and return to the ordinary world, all of that stuff. Still in a sort of a in-between phase. I taped a bit before leaving. I don't know whether I'm going to, before coming out, I don't know if I'm going to really use that material or I'm going to tape again after I get home. But I want to do this, go to PetSmart, maybe that will help, buy some food for the kids, maybe some grocery shopping if I can decide what to buy, and some cola, and then back to the kids, and then edit and tape, and also try to do some writing if I can. Slowly coming back. Anyway, bye for now. Hello, everybody. I'm here at the PetSmart, and it's very busy with people shopping, Christmas shopping for their pets, for their cat kids, dog kids, whatever. But I've got, very little left. I've still got cans that they like, but I wanted something that, something that they really like. I think they like this. And there's applause, but it's sold out. So I don't know. I'll just get these for now and maybe go to another PetSmart later. Maybe not today, but, the next couple of days. Helping a little bit to be here, but not a lot. I'm still really in the It's sort of a difficult zone, but I'll make it. Anyway, bye for now. I get in the car and I turn on the engine, and the first song that's playing, the line is, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Now, I tried to tape a little bit of it, but I'm always wary about this because if you have more than so many seconds, you get blocked for copyright. It's happened to me before, so I hope I didn't get blocked there. But this has been happening almost all the time now. Now I'm seeing significance in the littlest things. Now, this is just for me. I realize it's subjective, and it's, all of that stuff. Correlation does not imply cause. I get it. But for me, on my particular, my particular state of mind, all of these things, I'm willing to step back and look at them and go, oh, it's kind of funny. So anyway, that's what's happening now. I might stop at Sobeys, and then I might not. Couldn't get much for the kids here, but we've still got lots of food. I just wanted something nice for them, that for a bit of a change. So we'll see. So anyway, I'm gonna head home. Bye for now. Okay, once again, I hope that much doesn't get me blocked, me. But again, I mean, you're in a certain space when something by Taylor Swift of all people sounds incredibly profound. It sort of is in some ways, and I think that's her knack, that she can take something so so archetypal and relate it in a way that people in very different circumstances can connect with it, and that's what art does, I guess. Even very mainstream pop. Anyway, I'm home. I'm almost done. Bye for now. Hello everybody, I went out, I came back. There's one of the babies, camouflaged. There's one of the babies. There's Agita, and here I am, the Nutty Professor. Now, I taped quite a bit earlier before I went out, and I realized that if I post that, it's going to sound sort of even more insane than I've been sounding lately. Yeah, so I do have this forum. I have a big advantage in that hardly anybody ever, watches my podcast, so I can say more than a lot of people. And I am in touch with reality. I am aware. I know my name. I know I know I'm human. I know I'm not really a cat. And I do kind of I'm not completely out of it. However, I've been on some very, very deep journeys into the self, into underground, dissolution of ego, all of that stuff, a lot of experimentation. And I now feel that I should share just a little bit more. Not that I didn't choose to a certain degree this, but I feel, looking at circumstances, that I was also chosen. Now, it's very difficult to talk about this stuff abstractly, and also, if you start talking about this literally, it's, it sounds completely delusional. For example, there's an English soccer player who's a very big conspiracy theorist now, David Icke, and he used to be, I think, a sports commentator or something, and he came on TV and he said, I've had an epiphany. I've had a revelation. I'm paraphrasing, but I've had a revelation, and I feel that I am the Son of God. Or I've been told that I'm the Son of God. And then he backtracked afterwards, and everybody was like going, "Oh well, he went through these changes. It was a shift in awareness, but that was the only framework he had, the mythological framework he had to try to understand it, the Judeo-Christian. And in that, it's like, oh, you're the Son of God, and you've been chosen, and you've been whatever, Now, I'm not going to say that, obviously. Yeah, I think everybody who knows me knows that I have, I really do not buy into any of the established traditional religious frameworks, and especially not literally, so maybe metaphorically. And I do feel now that I'm in the state where I'm very, very isolated by choice and also not by choice. It's sort of, I kind of am where I need to be because I was kind of allowed to go on certain journeys and to return. So if I don't share at least a little bit of what I've learned, um, eventually in the writing, but that's going to take so long to get. I've tried before, but getting the right editor, and there's just so much material, and there's just so many hoops. Whereas this one, I can just talk, and hardly anybody listens, so it's fine. And I'm not gonna say anything that that's going to get me locked up or arrested, because I'm not a danger to myself or others. I've just been exploring certain alternative. It's been a spiritual journey. Let me say that much. So far, I've really hesitated to say the word spiritual, but it has been spiritual. It's kind of a dark spiritual, intense, spiritual, physical, emotional, many things, And the 12-step people, I mean, they talk about their higher power, but they beseech their higher power. That's one of the steps, to take away their cravings so that they can come back. Whereas my whole thing is that, the connection with the so-called higher or lower or whatever power has been my, gift. That the fact that I've been allowed to connect with this higher or lower power. Now, to ask the same power to take away my cravings for the knowledge that I've been given, that doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make sense, So for me, it negates the journey that I've been on, and I have been on a journey, and I have learned certain things, not very pleasant, about myself, pleasant, unpleasant, whatever, it's a journey to truth, and truth is not going to be always, very palatable. So the other framework I've been using, the Return of the Hero, Underworld. I have been using religious frameworks, or but more mythological, Dionysus, and the whole thing with Dionysus is in the Dionysian rituals. The initiate often does get torn to shreds, which metaphorically I have been. Now, and there's also masculine, feminine involved in that, and there's also substances involved in Dionysian rituals. So I was in a position, since I am isolated, I've been cut off from family. I have friends, but very occasional contact, which I much appreciate, much appreciate, and the fact that from another perspective, I mean, the fact that I have 2, 3, 5 friends, 2 of whom I exchange texts or emails with every 3 or 4 days, if that. And when I was really in bad shape, I called someone at night, which was, and this person really, she was there for me. She listened to, made her feel a bit uncomfortable, some things I was talking about. But that's the limit of the contact that I have. I mean, half an hour conversation, and to me, that's like that was huge. Now, to most people, and other than that, I haven't spoken to anybody except my analyst. And when I go out and, when I binge, there's very intense, very, very, very intense, connection with strangers, on that journey. And then it's like, I talk to people when I'm ordering food. That's about it, So I'm not whining. This might sound like that. I'm not complaining. But at this point, the only way I can see that as making any sense is if there was a purpose. I've sort of chosen this life. I've sort of been chosen for me because it's allowed me to do things that I couldn't have done had I, gone the traditional route and I've had the opportunity to get married and have children, and I rejected it. It didn't work, and for also personal reasons, stuff with my own parents and the difficulty separating from them. And when finally my parents went away after my father's accident to stay, I found myself in a situation of isolation, which kind of suited me. I didn't, but now I kind of see, oh, it's this circumstances that have allowed me to explore what I have and to have returned. Now, yes, I've gone very, very far, and I don't know how much more I want to share in this venue, but I will say it's a spiritual journey. I do feel as if there is a purpose, and if I give in now, or if I give up now, it will have been in vain. So I will keep going. I'm going to be seeing my analyst again. I have my kids. Without my kids, I would not have made it. And I do have my podcast. I do have my occasional contact with my friends, and everybody has, everybody's busy. They've got their lives. They've got families. They've got, I've got a family, but it's kids, and I do have human family nearby, and I sent the links to, the last couple of podcasts to them, and my cousin said that, over the break, they'll try to get together with me if they can find a time and a place, and, fine, I was close to them once, but, I also understand that I didn't work on maintaining the closeness, and I kind of let it go, and they were busy, and kind of suited me to be alone, and I'm not complaining. They have their lives. If we can find time to meet, fine, but I know I'm doing this on my own. The journey has been mine and mine alone. Had some guides, some positive guides and some negative guides, if you want to say it that way, but everything is towards a purpose. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this alone. If I have some contact with friends occasionally, if they touch base with me and worry about me, it's much appreciated. And if I see my human family, if they can find time over the next few days, again, that's what happens when you don't actually follow a traditional path. I mean, normally it would have been, or we always meet at Christmas. We're meeting at Christmas. We have for the last 3 or 4 years, but now it has to be sort of negotiated. It's like what or you're in really, really bad shape. Maybe we can meet. We'll come up with a time and place if we can. I'm like, fine. I don't know. I'm not. It's okay. I've bought into this. I've chosen this. This is my life. I'm not complaining about the solitude. I think it was necessary, and I will live with it. I will accept it. It's hard though at times, and my analyst at one time used a religious metaphor, something that I was going through with family, and he said, the imagery, even though is not. It says the Judeo-Christian imagery of that thing on the cross and stuff like that. He goes, that's a very powerful archetype for a reason, And at this point, I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm crucifying myself or anything like that, but I kind of get the imagery, and I do understand why it's such a powerful one, and it's okay. I prefer personally the Dionysian one, and there's overlap actually. There's a lot of overlaps here, so I'm not, I don't want people to come and take me away or anything. I'm not saying that I'm a chosen one. I'm not saying I'm second coming or any shit like that, obviously, no delusions of that kind to be, but I'm just saying that some of the things that I have been through, and this position that I find myself in, as isolated as I am, except for my kids and my occasional contact with my human friends, mostly by text or email, and the occasional lunch with a former student, which I much appreciate, but I've basically been doing this alone, and I will continue doing this alone. Unfortunately, I have my my analyst again. Now the Zoom sessions aren't ideal, but it's better than nothing. I know. Okay, I could say a lot more, but at this point, I just want to go slowly. I'm sharing more and more. A lot of this is already covered in the writing. And as I said, it's all metaphorical, not to be taken literally. It's just how things are kind of making sense for me right now. What I'm going through. It's been rough, but I do feel that there's been gain. There's a process. There's been a reason. At least I can sort of see that, and that's what I want to work on with my analyst. So I'll work on that more privately with my analyst. But for now, I just want to say, look, there are different ways of looking at the same thing, and some of the things that I say are going to sound kind of delusional if you look at it from a purely, reality perspective. But then I've been calling myself a semi-feral cat, but not literally. That's the point. Don't take it literally, So anyway, we got one baby there, and we got Agita here. So from the four of us, from the semi-psychotic, remember I said semi-psychotic? Because psychosis is a break from reality and there's delusions of grandeur, but not really, because I'm fully aware, I'm fully aware of what I'm saying may sound delusional, and I'm not taking any of this literally. I'm just telling kind of stories of how I see some stuff that has been happening to me, and that's it, That's just how I see it. Don't take any of this literally. Don't call them any redcoats. Not yet. There might be a time for that, but not yet. For now, all is well, and I'll work on this more with my analyst, and I'll keep posting these. If anybody sees them, fine. If they don't see them, fine. I'm doing these for myself, as I always have. So, and my very few friends who might get a little worried, but hearing me taking religious metaphors might scare my friends a bit, because I'm so anti-organized religion, and I still am, But I've been finding my own path, and that's what I've always said with spirituality. One has to enter the woods where darkest. And I sort of have done that, not intentionally, but it's been happening for some years now. I just don't like talking about it, Even now, I don't like talking about it. I'm not really talking about it. I'm just sharing a bit more perspectives on possible stuff. Yes, right now I'm going through, this is the toughest return of all, because there was the deeper you go, the harder it is to come back, and I'm putting myself together. So, and part of this is I want to share a little bit more than I used to. But I'm home, I'm safe with the kids, so all is well, and I will keep going. I'll keep reporting from this, from the semi-psychotic, struggling to come back to crazy and nutty professor. Okay, bye for now. See you next podcast.